Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Comic Book Nostalgia. I'm CB Nostalgia, and we have a huge update on Spider-Man freshman year from Comic-Con. Well, as many of you know, Marvel Studios kicked off their very first animated panel today, and front and center was Spider-Man freshman year. We got a ton of first looks at the series, guest characters, and even a Season 2 announcement. So let's break down all the news because it is more than a little bit exciting. Now, Spider-Man freshman year was totally showcased at Comic-Con earlier today, and we got a lot of good news. But I wanted to start off with the bad because I think it's pretty important. There had been a running assumption that this would serve as somewhat of a prequel to Spider-Man Homecoming. This had fans pretty excited, but apparently, based on all the new information we got today, that's not going to be the case. Now, this might serve as a bit of a disappointment for many people, but I think Marvel Studios has made their move with that, and based on what the Hall H presentation gave us, there's still a lot to be excited for. There is a lot different about this show than the standard MCU version of Spider-Man. Now, I'm going to start running a lot of art in the background. We got a lot of new looks at the series via Rotten Tomatoes, and I wanted to make sure you guys got to look at every little piece. Now, one of the big differences for the series, for starters, is that Norman and Harry Osborn, who haven't really been part of the MCU, will be in the show, with Harry Osborn taking up that mentorship role for Peter. With Oscorp backing him up, the web-slinger will have multiple costumes, and throughout the presentation we saw a lot of variations on that, which were pretty cool. Additionally, at high school, Peter's going to be joined by a couple of well-known Marvel characters. These are in the form of Amadeus Cho and the Runaways' Nico Minoru, which I found this completely catching me off guard, but I think it's pretty exciting for the series. Now, we did get a look at the villains too, and we're going to see a lot of classic Spider-Man villains here. Definitely the Scorpion, the Chameleon, Dr. Octopus, and with Harry and Norman Osborn being part of the series, inevitably the Green Goblin. But also, Spider-Man is going to have some backup in the form of several Marvel heroes. Now, we are going to see two big Marvel heroes. First, Doctor Strange, and secondly, the man without fear himself, Daredevil. But the cool thing about Daredevil is not that Daredevil is going to appear, but that Charlie Cox will actually lend his voice to the character for the series. So it seems like Charlie is getting even closer to Marvel Studios these days. He also will have that black costume that we've been hearing a bit about showing up in these upcoming appearances, so this might be a bit of a preview of what to expect from Daredevil once he lands in the MCU. Now, the other big part of the report was it was going to have a second season, which is pretty cool, but it also revealed the title of the second season, and it's named logically Spider-Man Sophomore Year. And apparently we will not have to wait a really long time to see this series. Now, I have to say, overall, I do like most of the art, but I'm not gonna lie, I am kinda disappointed it's not integrated as a prequel to Spider-Man Homecoming. I realize there's a lot of creative restrictions if they were to do that, and I do understand why they've gone in the direction they have, but it does leave me wondering why. Now, on the upside, I have to say, I really do like most of the art, particularly the rendering of Peter. Peter really does look like the classic Ditko version of the character, and it seems like they're leaning a bit on that age of the hero. I also like some of these costumes that we're seeing. Some of these we've seen before. The white Future Foundation costume, Ricochet, and a few others appear to be making an appearance in the series. Whether these will go on to be separate characters, we'll have to wait and see, but it does appear like Marvel Studios is diving super deep into the Spider-Man lore to make this happen. Now, we're obviously going to follow everything Spider-Man freshman year. The series looks exciting, and I imagine some of the stuff they shared at Comic-Con is going to make its way online. Hopefully we see a trailer soon. The show is set to premiere in 2024, so sadly we have probably 18 months before we're going to finally see it, but they did make it pretty clear the second season will follow not too far after the first, so hopefully it's a nice 1-2 punch. Obviously we're going to follow everything Spider-Man freshman year and, well, sophomore year, so if you want to get all your freshman year updates, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and catch them all here because we're going to cover every web-slinging detail. But until we know more, what do you guys think? How do you feel about Spider-Man freshman year not being a prequel to Homecoming? And what did you think of all this art and guest characters? I have to say, I like most of what I see here. Tell me what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you hit like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you're not getting any updates. Peace.